This is the arrest video of Rebecca and Jake Haro, parents of a 7-month-old child who they reported missing. Mom said she was attacked by a man who said hola, knocked her out, stole the baby. Obviously, the sheriff and investigators did not believe that story, arrested mom and dad. There's little Emmanuel. He is still missing tonight. But today, the parents made their first appearance inside the courtroom, and Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson joining us live from, are you in Riverside tonight, Matt?
I am. So we have the official charges, Vinny, with Riverside District Attorney's Office. So we're in front of the Hall of Justice here in Riverside, California. This is about an hour away from where their home is in also Riverside, Cabazon. And then it's another probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes to where the alleged abduction took place over in that parking lot, and that was in San Bernardino, which is why you had those deputies part of the initial search. So now that we have that taken care of. So you have the alleged mom and dad, who are the alleged baby killers at this point in time, facing real charges at this hour, finally filed by the district attorney's office earlier today, including first-degree murder and then also falsifying a police report. Remember, for the alleged abduction that police said after they were looking into it didn't add up. There was no hola man that was, beating her and then taking the baby. They believe that this baby was killed days before. So they were in court today, reunited for the first time since their arrest on Friday. And wow. In that very small courtroom that I was in, I was within an arm's reach of this defendant, Jake Haro, who looked angry, showed no emotion. He was seated in the corner of the well, basically where the inmate comes in and out. And across the well in the jury box, his wife, looking down the whole time, she still had a bruise on her eye. And they only glanced and looked at each other when the judge asked them a very important question. Do they each want to postpone their official reading of the charges and their deal or their, first appearance to next week because of a very important issue? There is kind of a situation where they're both represented by the same attorneys right now, and that can't happen in this jurisdiction. Take a listen.
So what happened today was both defendants, who is Jake and Rebecca, made their initial appearance here in Riverside Department 61. Ordinarily, it would be for an arraignment. However, we have limited information. All we have is a felony complaint at this point. We don't have police reports, anything of that nature. So the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent people who cannot afford private counsel. Initially, we received word that one or both would have private counsel. It appears that neither have private counsel. We cannot represent both. So for today, we simply continued the arraignment. The arraignment is reset for next Thursday, September 4th. At that point, hopefully we'll have a police report, run a conflict check, and we'll decide to keep one, and then we'll conflict on the other.
So you have the arraignment pushed to next week, about this time next week, September 4th, and that's because one or both have to get a different attorney, because right now they're both indigent and they are represented by the Public Defender's Office. He can't represent both of them. So that was the big takeaway from today. And we also learned a lot of new details in this case from the official complaint filed with Riverside County, including this. Let's put it on your screen. This baby may have been killed, according to investigators, days before, because it says in or about August 5th through and including August 14th. Remember, that's when the baby was reported missing. The defendants did willfully and unlawfully murder baby Doe, meaning baby Emmanuel. And then it goes on to talk about there is evidence of abuse, domestic violence, and that could be introduced in this case, Vinny.
Wow. All right. How about outside the courthouse today? What was going on?
Yeah, it was very interesting. There was a lot of people here, probably dozens of people, and a lot of the same people that have been following the case since day one. Over in the desert area, about an hour away where the family home is. The same people putting up signs and bringing teddy bears. They were here at this courthouse. They were inside that courtroom. And here's why. Take a listen.
I want to be sure that we get justice for baby Emmanuel. Too, he's an infant and he does not have a voice, and he's too close to home for me to not be his voice out here and to put the pressure on those parents. I'm hoping that we could stick the parents with some charges. That's what I'm hoping for today.
So here's what happens next. Of course, we know that the arraignment pushed to next week, September 4th. And then tomorrow morning, the Riverside County District Attorney's Office is holding a joint news conference, so we're expecting to hear much more about the arrest and some of the evidence in the case. And then, of course, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's still leading the charge with this investigation and still searching for baby Emmanuel.
All right, Matt Johnson in Riverside, California tonight. Great work, Matt, and another big day tomorrow in this investigation. We appreciate it. Let's bring back in our think tank. Rick King, Ann Bremner, Ali Benevento. All right, Rick, I want to start with you on this. A range of dates from the 5th to the 14th. What does that tell you about the status of this investigation, the status of the evidence?
So that tells me that they are, because they've listed a wide range of dates right now, is that they probably have some evidence about the child missing sooner than this particular day, which would make sense. But what is guiding this for me is the fact that there's this location where the child is missing from, there's no cameras there. And I think because there's no cameras there, they can't prove anything that happened on that site. So they probably increased the net of their search and started looking back prior to that date to try to find some sort of date where the child was last seen and then work from that date forward.
Ali, on Sunday, Jake Haro was seen and was with detectives as a search party was looking for this child off of the 60 highway out there. And now he's back in court. He looks angry. What do you think is going on here? What does that mean?
Honestly, Vinny, this case gives me, at least their comments, give me Susan Smith vibes. Remember when Susan Smith said it was a black man that took her children? And these guys are saying, oh, somebody came up to us and said, hola. There's nothing like a little sprinkle of subtle racism to throw the police off the scent. I don't know if these people just don't watch Dateline or they're just really not good at what they're doing, but this does not look good for either of them. None of this does right now.
Ann Bremner, do they need to find Emmanuel to get convictions here?
You know, Vinny, I don't know what other evidence they have. They talked about doing, of course, executing search warrants, and of course they've had the father out there looking for the body, I guess. I mean, that's what we saw. He's in his jumpsuit. He's with the police, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't think they need to find the body. A lot of prosecutors feel that way. I think they're wrong. There's a lot of no-body cases out there that have been successful prosecutions.
Ann Bremner, we're out of time. I'm so sorry. That music, they start playing the music. We got to go. Ann Bremner, thank you so much. Ali Benevento and Rick King.